Hello and welcome to all of you from India and around the world. I am Ninad Karpe, partner at 100X. Today in this session, we will have a live session on decoding 100X 2.0. For those of you who are not familiar with 100X, let me give a 2 minute kind of background. We are a SEBI registered fund. We are the first institutional check writer. We have been in existence. Our first check we wrote in November 2019. We pioneered iSafe in India. We'll talk more about iSafe, simple agreement for future equity. It cuts down on all the hassle of shareholders agreement, and it simplifies the process.
Hey all, we're just having some technical issues. Ninad will be back with us in a quick second. Please bear with us.
Sorry about that. Let me get back while Sanjay will join. Let me talk again about what we are planning to do. Welcome again to all of you who have joined this live session. This session will be on decoding 100x 2.0. And for those who are not familiar with 100x, let me talk a little bit about 100x before I get Sanjay on this platform and ask questions. Uh, at any point of time, if you have any question, just put it in the comments column and I'll take it at the right time. This is a session meant for you to ask questions. This is a session for you to clarify your doubts, figure out how you can get your first check from 100x. As I was mentioning earlier, for those of you who are not familiar, 100x is a SEBI registered fund. We are the first institutional check writer. We invest when no one else has even started thinking of investing. We invest at concept stage, pre revenue, early revenues, and more importantly, we invest through iSafe Note. iSafe, the full form of iSafe in India, simple agreement for future equity. Uh, this is a convertible. We have pioneered that in India. We are the first persons to institutions to invest through iSafe. It's simple, it's straightforward, it's founder friendly in a true sense. You can sign the iSafe very fast, and it's all there on our website. A lot of information is available on website on iSafe. Should you want to know more about it? We invested our first round of investments. We did around November 2019, and here we are. We have invested in 70 companies, startups, and 10 more, which we are going to announce tomorrow. So total of 80. In this 70 startups, put together, they have raised a follow-on funding of around $60 million through 600 founders. That's the kind of fundraise they've done. And how has that happened? That has happened because 100x gets tons of pitch decks. As a firm, from we started working in around June, July 2019. Our first investment was in November 2019. But between that, there and now, as a firm, we have received a staggering 20,000 pitch decks. That's a lot. And from this 20,000 pitch decks, we have invested in 80. We go through each and every pitch deck. You can send it to us. We have a team which goes through it, and whichever fits our thesis in terms of what you want to invest as a first check in moonshot ideas, that's where we invest. We have invested in 70, and we're going to announce a class '07 tomorrow, so total of 80. This session will specifically talk about 100x 2.0. And what is 2.0? How is it different? How is it different from the earlier ones? And how we are going to make a substantial difference. So let us see now. Let me try and get Sanjay in this video. Hang on for 2 minutes. There we are. Sanjay, welcome. Good to see you here. And I'm sure the entrepreneurs, startup founders are keen to learn about
There we are, Sanjay.
2.0.
Welcome. Hi,
I'm
hi,
sure
Ninad.
to learn about uh, 2.0. Uh, so
Hi, Ninad.
great. Sanjay, I was just
So
mentioning
great.
to the viewers.
Sanjay, I was just mentioning to the
Viewers, just hold on. There's some echo somewhere. Let us sort out the echo problem. Sorry about that. I'm sure Sanjay will join soon. But just so that we take a conversation forward, yes, we have pioneered uh, the whole aspect of early stage investment. We have now changed the model. I'm not going to tell more details. We'll get it from Sanjay himself. What is so different in the new model? We are sector agnostic. We do not follow any particular sector. Fundamentally, we look at moonshot ideas. We look at, interestingly, and I have gone on record and mentioned even in investor meetings, investor conferences, our thesis is basically we look at what can go right, not what can go wrong. And on the basis of that, we look at moonshot ideas. So if you think
Hey, Ninad.
your moonshot
I'm back.
idea, yeah, welcome back, Sanjay. Great to have you.
Hey,
I was just
thanks.
telling your viewers about a little bit of 100x, but
Sure.
wonderful to have you. I'm sure our viewers want to ask a lot of questions to you, hopefully to you. And if they feel I should answer, I'm also here to respond. But yes, over to you. So, Sanjay, I think we are all very keen. We recently announced 2.0, 100x 2.0. Can you just give three, four broad highlights of 100x 2.0?
Sure. Thank you, Ninad, and great to have you all. And uh, happy new financial year. Uh, we are beginning on a great note. We just announced 100x 2.0, where in 1 year, next 12 months, we are looking to invest across in 100 startups and deploy 125 crore into these companies, for which we'll be writing 1.25 crore checks for each startup whom we fund across. So that's like more capital, more education, everything more. This is like a great beginning to the new financial year of 22-23, where 100x is promising to invest 100 startups with each one of them getting 1.25 crore check. So that's the big news, Ninad.
So tell me, would you say that, Sanjay, this is the fastest deployment at early stage? 125 crores
No
in
doubt,
20.
in India, nobody has done or taken this task, and we are getting great responses from startup founders, and amazing applications are flowing our way. So, thank you, startups, and look forward to work with all you young entrepreneurs, budding and emerging entrepreneurs, student entrepreneurs, professionals turned entrepreneurs, all types of entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs in various sectors, right? So happy to have you guys pitch to 100x, and we look forward to work with you.
So would you say that it is velocity plus moonshots?
Absolutely. See, the idea here is, if I'm talking, we will be funding almost like one company every 3 days, right? It's a very different way of investing, where we will have amazing momentum, and we are looking out for those outlier ideas, right? The moonshot ideas, as Ninad's favorite word is, about something which is disruptive, innovative, something which is going to change the landscape, impact the world. It depends upon how big the problem you are solving across, and we'll back you with our seed capital of 1.25 crore, and that's a standard process which we follow.
So Sanjay, there's a saying that don't change what ain't broken. We started, all of us started in 2018, sorry, 2019, sorry. And, we funded 80 startups so far, 70 plus 10, which we're going to announce tomorrow. 70 have raised $60 million. Look at whichever parameters, it's been a reasonably interesting journey. What is the need for this change?
No, we had an amazing success with our initial batch or so-called classes. We had in class one we had 20 companies, then 10 follow on, and today we are at 80 companies alumni. It's a great journey. We had great outcomes. All these companies combined have created 913 jobs, 913 jobs. So it's very gratifying. There is nothing to take away saying that this was not successful or anything of that sort. We were amazingly happy. But at 100x, as the startups whom we advise, mentor, and work across, we tell them to scale up, right? Bring that exponential growth. And this is the exponential growth of 100x. 100x itself is a startup, and it behaves accordingly. It works across in velocity and would like to see virality. And what is best for the startup ecosystem, and that's what we seek across: more capital, more education. And that's why it was so much gratifying for us to announce this new program, 100x 2.0, where now we will be working across with little more amount of capital, which will help this startups which are emerging at seed stage to convert their products into real businesses, right? And help them scale the whole business to the next level. So I think the way we look upon it, 100x.vc is all about how can we help entrepreneurs get more and more successful. And this was the best opportunity for us to help startups with this initial check, which is going to give them a long runway, and we are going to invest more time in educating them.
So more capital and more education. You mentioned education a couple of times. So I want to push you on that point. Recently, I want to remind viewers that Forbes India, is the latest issue, has covered very detailed coverage on 100x, the entire model, how we work. So grab a copy, read about 100x, or go online, Forbes India, and check it out. It's an interesting article. You'll get to learn what, from the journalist perspective, what she thought about 100x, what Forbes India thinks about 100x, and yes, 0 to 1 and beyond. Does that sum up what we are doing, Sanjay? 0 to 1 and beyond?
Absolutely. I think, if you go through that article, it was an independent journalism which was done across, while, so many founders, the portfolio companies who have been interviewed in that, speaks openly and kind of vociferously speaking about the value what 100x provides on the table beyond capital, right? See, idea here is startup ideas are very fragile, very fragile at early stage. They need lots of nurturing, right? You need to help these companies take it to the next level with all aspects of the business. It's not just limited to capital. In fact, if you look into it, these young entrepreneurs or emerging entrepreneurs have not spent probably not more than 10, 15 lakhs in their entire life journey. And now suddenly they've got few crores into the bank once the VC funding comes. How do you deploy it? How do you plan to spend it, right? How do you build a scalable business and enduring business? It's not just about creating a startup, it's about solving customers' problem and building an enduring business. I've been a lead investor in so many startups and have built help companies build at that initial stage with a foundation that it can scale rapidly with the right product market fit. So what we do across in this program is as soon as we select these companies, invest in them, then we induct into the mentoring unlimited program in which we help these startup founders go through intense workshops, master classes, one-on-one mentoring with industry experts, with alumni of 100x, with startups which has raised across series B, C kind of funding. They get wide variety of exposure. It's just like getting all kind of buffet where eat all you can, and unlimited kind of mentoring which is there for them. So it is very intense engagement which happens across. And once that program is done across, we end up with a VC pitch day on which we showcase the startups to the world of investors. Now, this there is a huge transformation which goes through from startups when they apply to us to when they showcase the whole idea. So when we invest, we look at startups founders, are they having that coachability, right? Do they have that vision or the market opportunity for us to deploy not just a small initial seed capital of 1.25 crore, but do they have that hunger for resources and capital? Can they consume more amount of capital, 3 crore, 5 crore, 30 crore? And what is the path to that journey, right? So what we tell across to all the startup, it's uh, we work across from path to create a value for you, from value to valuations. How do you bring the startup founders from creating value to valuations? That's the journey. And that happens once you have that exponential thinking. How do you bring that exponential thinking once you have that right confidence, saying that you know your business, you got your pricing right, the business model is right, the product engineering is right, you hired the right team, and these are all the places where 100x comes together and work with you in terms of building a story which is going to scale up with other investors who are going to write in the bigger and bigger checks. So the way 100x works is we are the initial starting point to help you nurture the whole idea into an enduring business.
So great, Sanjay. I think let me dive a little bit deeper now into a little more specifics, since you've put a kind of broad framework in place. Any preferred sector for this 2.0?
100x 2.0, there is no change in our mindset as 100x founders. We are looking at diverse sectors, but yes, we invest in India domiciled companies. We work with Indian startups. And that's our priority and that's our preference. So, all Indian startups, India domiciled startups, we look forward for your applications. But from sector perspective, 100x 1.0 and 2.0, everything remains the same except for the check size of 1.25 crore for 15% equity in future whenever they raise a price round.
No preferred sector, but any favorite sector? Let me ask you, Sanjay.
I got so many favorite sectors. I love D2C brands. I am a deep tech guy myself, so I love tech companies, B2B SaaS, fintech, future of work. I love across media and entertainment. I've invested in possibly every sector: medical device, health, digital health, health tech. I've gone through every possible thought process. My personal portfolio in last 10 years has been over 150 companies. So you would have imagined I've gone through every vintage possible kind of stuff. But yes, in 100x also we enjoy working with every set of founders, right, in various sectors. In fact, we love when we get educated by founders. We love founders who can help us visualize how the future would be, how the whole new world will develop, what is the new story which is going to come up. And that's where we get excited with the founders who can help us understand how the world will become across. So we look forward to those kind of entrepreneurs.
So great. I think let me now turn to iSafe and shareholders agreements, board seats. This kind of thing plays on the minds of founders. Uh, does anything change in 100x 2.0 on this matter in terms of iSafe notes?
Nothing. iSafe remains the same. It's an open source, India simple agreement for future equity. You can download it from 100x.vc website. It's an open source document. No legal fees, nothing. Uh, you can work across on that document, raise capital very simply without any board seats, you know, very limited rights which are required across. So it's a very simple way of closing deals, which typically SHA would take across 3 to 4 months. This can be done across in days. And we at 100x.vc are very proud that we pioneered iSafe in India, and today at seed stage investing, it has become a de facto document for every startup to raise, not just 100x.vc, but every other startup to invest using iSafe notes. So I think startup founders love iSafe, and they've been happy about using iSafe to raise their first check.
So great, viewers. Again, a reminder: if you have any questions, please post it in the comments column. I'll soon start taking up any questions which you have. So Sanjay, you mentioned for last 10 minutes we've been discussing about 100x 2.0 and the features of it and how we feel it's really great. But let's flip the whole equation. What is in it for the founder? The founder may say, okay, all this is fine, but what is so good for me in 100x 2.0?
A great question, Nina. A seed stage founder at early stage typically is struggling across with building the company, getting customers, getting the team, getting across the right product architecture, everything, right? And that founder is struggling with everything. Now with 1.25 crore, they get a good amount of runway of 6 to 12 months for them to build the product and go out and raise money at a larger and a better valuation. So idea is they get initial capital and they don't have to struggle, go around pitching to 20 investors, raising 5 lakh, 10 lakh rupees. Instead of that, they just have got straight single tranche. We don't invest in tranches. This is a single check, single tranche, no milestones, simple investment into the startup. And they got this 1.25 crore to use across capital to build to their product to that level that they are able to raise a larger round, subsequent round at a better valuation. So it works across for startup founders being able to get a good runway. Secondly, there is good amount of education involved across. While I speak across education, because we position 100x.vc as a finishing school. Once 100x.vc funds any startup, it becomes like a social proof that your idea is venture fundable. And in all our last classes, if I see across class 3, class 4, 5, all our startups have got funded. They've been able to raise money from other investors because now it's a it's called as a validation capital. That's what a couple of founders speak about, saying that it validates your startup. And somebody speaks about this as a discovery fund, because we discover those ideas and present it to the world of VCs, angel investors, family offices to write the follow-on check. So your we become your de facto your lead investor. We market your deal. We become like a shadow co-founder to you in every part of your journey, be it across product development, helping you with various credits, helping you access to various technology or tech architecture teams. If you are a D2C brand, how do you get payments right, or pricing right, subscription model right? I mean, we have got tons of experts on our panel in terms of helping you with mentoring, and that's the story which plays out so well, as time goes by. And at initial stage, once the foundation is set, the founders are smart enough to take off. Right, this is like a launch pad. So think this 1.25 crore as your launch pad capital. Once you are in the orbit, you get that escape velocity, and then founders are smart enough to reach to heights. I don't see that as a challenge. All the entrepreneurs have got amazing capability to scale their business up. They just need one escape velocity, and that's what 100x provides across.
Wow, you said so many things. You spoke about education, validation, mentoring. All is reflected in what Forbes India calls 100x 0 to 1 and beyond. You spoke about runways, social proof, validation platform, discovery fund, de facto lead investor. Startup founders, is there anything? There cannot be a better mix of so many attributes you'll get from a VC fund. Let me come to the last two questions. And if you have any questions, viewers, please do post them in the comments column. Let me get into a little bit of process, Sanjay. How can a founder apply for funding?
A great question, Nina. To reach out to 100x.vc, visit across our website, 100x.vc, and you will see Class 08 application tab. Click on that. Reach across to that application window, where you need to just fill in a couple of your details, name, email ID, and your PDF of a pitch deck. And once we receive that, within 7 days, you would get a notification to engage with you for more due diligence. So we'll ask you for more data, more information about a video pitch, and trying to get more insights into your business. And once we have collected that information, and there is an interest, we'll invite you for a Zoom call or an online Google Meet, and then get you to our office for a face-to-face meeting and invest with iSafe notes. The whole process takes around 2 weeks. That's the turnaround which we are working on, to trying to promise a startup to get a term sheet from the time when they give us a pitch deck, or they get a decline in 2 weeks' time. That's the process, which, and it has been well articulated on our website, all the steps. So you visit across on the class 8 tab on 100x.vc website, and you will get information step by step on each of the process. Hey, Nina.
Okay. So, last question: how do we inform the applicants? Founders have applied for Class 8. What is the process of information? After this, we'll take any viewers, entrepreneurs' questions, whatever there is.
Sure. So, Nina, as I mentioned across, we'll once we review that pitch deck, there will be an information flowing through 100x team, and all the applications are reviewed by the IC directly, right? Typically, the process we have flipped in other VC funds. Typically, it is the analyst or somebody who is an associate or down level in the rung would review the applications, filter out, collect more information, and then go, the once few selected will reach to the investment committee. Here, the diligence is done by the investment committee first, like the first check, first deck is reviewed by the investment committee, right? And once that investment committee approves for the next step, that's where the information collection starts, which means that your idea has been seen by the investment committee, and now there is more information which is required. So we have cut down all the processes, and 100x would be the first VC fund where each deal is reviewed by the investment committee itself.
Okay, that was fairly interesting. I know 100x 2.0, good way in which you responded to questions. You can now ask any questions. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments column. I've received a private question, Sanjay. It's not in the comments column. Uh, you mentioned a lot about why 100x, but uh, are founders spoiled for choice at early stage, or you think 100x is so unique that there's no one really in that space?
I don't think so. That there are other VC funds who are running the same model, because one of the things which we were very clear is, on the transparency with which we work, all our terms condition, all our agreements, the way we invest, everything is there on our website. Uh, like for example, we don't do follow-on rounds. So for example, any startup who is looking to raise the next round of funding, the signaling is right to the VCs who are incoming, saying that we will not take away their equity ownership, right? So becomes very simple for startup founders in terms of saying that let's raise the next round of capital in terms of working out. So there are various pluses which we have created so that we can create a founder friendly engagement.
Okay. One more question is on agri-tech. Do you fund agri-tech startups?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We fund across agri-tech startups. We, in fact, in our portfolio, we have agri-tech startups. So we love, if you are from agri-tech, we'll love to review your pitch. Please write to us. Go to
One more
100x.vc website and apply on class 8 page.
One more question I've received is what is the youngest you've funded as 100x? What is the youngest age startup founder? And can you tell some of the
I wouldn't
success
like to
stories?
name it, but I mean, let me just give you something which is in public. I was one of the early or first check writers to Ritesh Agarwal at Oyo Rooms. So I've seen success with young student entrepreneurs. So happy to look at all kind of student entrepreneurs.
And one or two last questions I've received. One is saying that you mentioned about company being registered in India, which is fine. But do you fund startups which are registered in India but look at global markets?
Oh yeah,
If the market is
absolutely.
calling
So we love startups which are going to go global, or build local, go global, right? And that's the mantra. And today we are focused on India domiciled startups to ensure that we are funding across Indian opportunities. We believe India story has just started, and Indian entrepreneurs have got a long way to go across, and to build this opportunity would require across capital, and capital X as a force multiplier, right? It's a force multiplier. So we give you that first escape velocity, be your launch pad, and take it to the next orbit. So we love if a startup founder who is Indian, domiciled in India, and ready to go and win the global market.
Last question I've received, unless some more come. The question is when is the right time to start a startup?
There is never a right time. Whenever you are ready, it's the right time. Idea here is you start and make it right, and that's how I would say across, right? So my recommendation to all startup founders who are looking to get into becoming an entrepreneur, there would never be a right time, right? Day when you decide across saying that yes, you have the basic idea, you have the understanding of the market, go ahead and build it. Right today, 100x has funded a lot of idea stage company, pre-revenue companies, and we'll happy to see. We would like to see what is your skin in the game. Once you believe into that idea and you are out there building it, we'll be happy to back you. If you like the market, what you are working on, we'll be happy to back you.
So there you are. What are you waiting for? The right time is now, is what Sanjay is mentioning. Remember Forbes article, 100x takes startups from 0 to 1 and beyond. Sanjay, any last inspirational words to potential unicorns of tomorrow?
No, idea is, we welcome you all. Uh, we are always grateful to our portfolio companies, grateful to all entrepreneurs who take our capital and work with us, and sincere gratitude to all entrepreneurs who are building companies, building India. It's a hard work. We are trying at 100x. We are trying to do our small bit of helping you become successful, and we would love to be your partner in this journey. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ninad.
Thank you, Sanjay. That was quite wonderful. Your comments were brief, incisive, and analytical. Gave through a lot of light on 100x 2.0. Thank you, viewers, for joining. As usual, you can always reach out to us. Go to the 100x website and you can always drop in a comment, reach out to us. Feel free anytime to ask anything. You can apply at 100x.vc/class08. If you want to do a startup, the time is now. Hope to see some of you at least apply, if not all of you, and hope to see you getting mentored by us and becoming successful. Thank you again, viewers, for joining. Thank you, Sanjay, for
Thank
taking this
you.
session.
Sorry for the trouble of internet. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.